We're going to move on actually now to our next guest, who is Dr. Amish Adalja. He's an infectious disease expert at Johns Hopkins. So a lot going on here, a lot to unpack, Doctor. Where are you? Let me ask you first directly. Do you think this could have started in the Wuhan lab?
I think it's unclear where this started. I think we have to draw a distinction, though, between an engineered virus and a lab leak. And I think that's where a lot of this confusion was, because I don't think there's any evidence that this was an engineered virus, but there clearly are concerns about the biosafety that might have been going on or not going on at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And could this have been an accidental release of the virus? I think that's something we need to understand, because we want to know if there is an intermediate animal between bats and humans. That's something we want to know about, because it's very important for the next pandemic and the next coronavirus outbreak.
How would we know that it wasn't engineered?
Well, you can look at the genetics of the virus, look and try and see how much does it resemble viruses in the wild. Are there certain kind of signature genetic engineering moves in there? And most people don't believe that there is actually evidence of genetic engineering in this virus, but that doesn't mean that it couldn't have emanated from a lab where an accident happened, somebody got infected. We heard about those three researchers that were hospitalized in November with a respiratory illness. Could somebody have accidentally got infected in the lab and then spread it? And this happens all over the place. There's people that get infected with the specimens that they work with. And I think that's why biosafety is really important. And I think that's where this is really honing in on, is the biosafety processes that were in place at the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
What changed, Doctor? I mean, what happened? You mentioned these three doctors who got it in November of 2019 before the first documented cases. Yet when this started, there were, as you know, more who felt like this thing had occurred naturally. Why now does it appear that this lab theory is gaining traction?
So the lab theory never went away. The genetic engineering theory, that was considered a conspiracy theory, and that sort of went away. But people kind of conflated those two. And what's happened over time, as we've seen more obfuscation, more contradictory statements from the Chinese government, more blocking of investigation into the origins. And now we're hearing about 3 people getting sick. We're seeing more data on these other coronaviruses that were related to SARS-CoV-2 that may have been involved in a mine, infections in a mine. There's just more and more data that's coming out there, and more blocking by the Chinese government, more lack of transparency that I think is now getting people to really think we need to understand the origins of this. And we know that the WHO investigation that went there, that wasn't going to get to the bottom of it. And I think now there's a clear and present need to try and get transparency, because we will face new infectious disease threats, and we have to understand their origin to prepare for them.
Right. I did want more on this, Doc, but we're running short on time. So I wanted to ask you one other thing. We had almost 700 deaths yesterday. And I'm wondering, do we know who's dying at this point? Is it happening in specific areas? Is it because these folks have comorbidities? Or is it people who are unvaccinated?
So we're still sifting through a lot of that data. I can tell you anecdotally, as somebody who's been taking care of patients with COVID since the beginning, what I'm seeing now in the ICUs in the hospital are unvaccinated individuals. I worked on Monday. I had 2 COVID patients, both unvaccinated. So that's how this virus is now spreading around the country, in that group of people that are not vaccinated.
Get the shot. That's the bottom line, I'm guessing, right, Doc?
Yes, that everybody should be getting vaccinated as soon as possible.
Right. Been a while since I've seen you, Dr. Amish Adalja. Thanks for your time. Senior scholar for Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security. Take care.
Thank you.